Hi, my name is NWAKA John, and my project partner is MOHANAD. Today we'll be talking about our final project in operating system CS410, and our project is all about socket programming using virtual machine. I will take you from the first slide to the 13th slides, and my project partner is going to talk about the programming itself. Introduction. This project will explain how to implement socket programming by using virtual machine. This is about how to implement socket programming using virtual machine. Let's talk about virtualization. What is virtualization? In computing, virtualization refers to the art of creating a virtual rather than actual versions of something, including virtual computer hardware platform, operating system, storage device, and computer network resources. The term visualization has become somewhat of a buzzword, and as a result, the term is now associated with a number of computing technologies, including the following: storage visualization, the amalgamation of multiple network storage devices into what appears to be a single storage unit; server visualization, the partitioning a physical server into smaller virtual servers; operating system level visualization, a type of server visualization technology which works at the operating system kernel layer; network visualization, using network resources through a logical segmentation of a single physical network; and finally, application visualization. What are the benefits of visualization? 1. It saves energy, go green. Migrating physical servers over to virtual machines and consolidating them onto far fewer physical servers means lowering monthly power and cooling costs in the data center. It also reduces the heat, since in the virtual environment the amount of hardware is significantly reduced. 2. It reduces hardware vendor lock-in. Because visualization abstracts away the underlying hardware and replaces it with virtual hardware, IT professionals and owners gain a lot more flexibility when it comes to the hardware equipment they can choose from, no vendor lock-in. Number 3 benefit is better disaster recovery. Disaster recovery is quite a bit easier when your data center is visualized. With up-to-date snapshots of your virtual machines, you can quickly get back up and running. And should disaster strike the data center itself, you can always move those virtual machines elsewhere. Another benefit of visualization is it helps move things to the cloud. In virtual environments, it is easy to move applications along with each configuration, since no vendor lock, and it will make it easy to redeploy the live environment to the cloud. Also, visualization reduces costs. Hardware is most often the highest cost in IT infrastructure. Reduce the amount of hardware used and you reduce your costs. But the cost goes way beyond that of hardware: lack of downtime, easier maintenance, less electricity used. Over time, this all adds up to a significant cost savings. Finally, visualization extends the life of older applications. Let's be honest, you probably have old legacy applications still running in your environment. These applications probably fit into one or more of these categories. It doesn't run on a modern operating system. It may not run on the newer hardware. Your IT team is afraid to touch it, and the chances are good that the person or the company who created it is no longer around to update it. By visualization and encapsulating the application and its environment, you can extend its life, maintain uptime, and finally get rid of that old Pentium machine hidden in the corner of the data center. Who are the key players in visualization? V1 VMwares. VMwares dominates the server visualization market. Its domination does not stop with its commercial products. 2. Citrix, which Amazon uses. 3. Oracle. 4. Microsoft. The next domination is Red Hat, which hailed as the most successful open source company. Red Hat entered the world of visualization in the year 2008. 6 is Amazon. Amazon Electric Compute Cloud is the industry standard visualization platform. 7. Google. When you think of Google, visualization might not make the top of the list of things that come to mind, but it's Google application. And finally, VirtualBridge. VirtualBridge is the company that invested what is now known as Virtual Desktop Infrastructure, or VDI. This next slide will be talking about socket programming. First of all, what is socket? A socket is defined as an endpoint for communication. It allows communication between two different processes on the same or different machines. A socket looks and behaves much like a low-level file descriptor. This is because commands such as read and write work with sockets in the same way they do with files and pipes.
How socket work? Socket uses client-server architecture. The server waits for incoming client request by listening to a specified port. Once request is received, the server accepts a connection from the client socket to complete the connection. When the connection is made, the server creates a socket object. When it is its end of the communication, the client and server can now communicate by writing to and reading from the socket.
How does socket work? Socket uses client-server architecture. The server waits for incoming client request by listening to a specific port. Once a request is received, the server accepts a connection from the client socket to complete the connection. When the connection is made, the server creates a socket object on its end of the communication. The client and server can now communicate by writing to and reading from the socket.
The program. We create two programs, client and server, then use virtual machine to implement it. In this program, the programmer downloads file between the client and server, then use array to get many files at the same time to a different client. In this program, the client send message from its output stream to the server. The server receives it from the input stream and read it, then write it in the output stream and send back to the client, and the client received from the input stream. If the server get a file from its historic file exist, C is specific file exist. Then the server reads the file one after the order to the end of the file, each is -1, and write it. Then the server send back to the client. There are multiple threads in the server program to accept connection from multiple clients. In the client program, the program has three buttons. The first is to download file, the second is to upload file, and the last is to exit from the file. You have 9 steps. The first step, the virtual machine in a laptop is a host, represents the server, while the Linux virtual machine guest represents the client. Step 2. Set up Linux virtual machine using Oracle VirtualBox. You can see in slides. Step 3. Set a virtual network in the both client and server. And this page in client side. Step 4. Set a virtual network in both client and server. This is for the server. 5 step. Run the program in the server side. Server started and client can download the file. The next step show how to run the program from the client side and connect it to the server on port 8090. Now the server is connected. This step downloads the file operating system 9 PDF, which is located in the same directory of the server Java program. Finally, the transfer of the file completed, and now the file in the client side. Below is the sources we use for this project for your reference. Thank you.